GoPro went from being the king of their industry to an afterthought. The stock price has plummeted from $86 to a pitiful $1.30.
Whoa! Okay, okay, it starts really well. Oh my god. Yeah, that's a big, huge dip. What is going on with GoPro? Oh my god! I noticed that since for a few years now, we're not seeing them anymore on the market. Besides, like DJI took over, but yeah, interesting.
They currently have a bankruptcy probability of 33%.
Oh
their
my
losses
God.
are in the hundreds of millions, and their products are losing to much smaller companies. Once the go-to brand for adventurers and athletes, GoPro is now a shadow of its former self. So how did they get here, and will they go bankrupt?
Beautiful video, by the way.
Firstly, how did GoPro even get into this mess? It all started with their highly successful IPO in June of 2014, raising over $420 million. Yet, this is where the problems began. As soon as GoPro went public, the company started to balloon. Firstly, their workforce more than doubled. Next, the CEO gave himself a salary that was higher than trillion-dollar tech executives. How high, you ask? $285 million.
Bro, you just what? Why would you do that? So you basically do a leverage on your company and you took half of the money that just been raised. Why would you do that? Oh my god.
Making him the highest paid CEO
Obviously.
in America. But why? Well, the reason GoPro went public in the first place was because they saw cameras as a stepping stone. We're a hardware company, but we're turning into a content company.
That's what I was about to say before he carries on. When I remember is at the moment, Red Bull is, for me, the king of like content creation when it comes to like sports, because they're mixing, for example, their crazy stunts like from airplanes or from bikes or skateboarding, or like even just like making some world records or stuff like that, and they're promoting Red Bull. But the original company that does that back in the day was actually GoPro, because when you see like people are doing some surfing and like snowboarding and skiing, they were the first one to do that in the content system. So yeah, I'm gonna give the word that they open the thing for content creation. Yeah.
Most people don't view GoPro as a media company, but we're quickly changing what media is.
Definitely,
GoPro
yeah.
wanted to be a media company and began expanding into new territories.
Okay.
First, they brought on executives from HBO and Hulu to run this new division. Next, the company launched channels on Xbox Live and Roku, and began streaming different shows. One followed Olympic athletes, another showed the lavish lives of recording artists.
But look at that.
There was
this is what I just said. Like, for example, they were using like the Red Bull like from a plane and just diving, like skydiving with the Red Bull and the GoPro, because you need to capture the moment. So that was the perfect combination.
But there was a massive problem. These weren't making GoPro any money. In time, we recognized that rapidly scaling production would not deliver an immediate ROI
Obviously.
beyond the marketing value for our products. Soon, GoPro was losing money. Hundreds of millions to be precise, and to stay afloat, the entire media division was shut down in 2017. It was short-lived, but cost GoPro dearly, yet the failure of the media division was just the beginning. GoPro's losses would only multiply from here. GoPro also attempted to expand into the drone market. Unlike their media division, it actually related to their core business and could make them a return. Since 2014, GoPro has been attempting to enter the drone market, and even attempted a partnership with DJI, which dominated the market. They offered them a profit-sharing deal. DJI would produce the drones, and GoPro would provide the cameras. Except GoPro expected 2/3 of the profits, despite only providing the cameras, while DJI would provide the drones and the R&D. DJI naturally found this offensive and canceled the partnership. After this first failure, GoPro created its own drone division, and in 2014 announced the GoPro Karma. But it wasn't the saving grace they hoped it would be. The Karma was plagued with power failure. Customers saw their drones dying and crashing mid-flight.
Oh my days.
GoPro had the decency to immediately recall this product just 16 days after launch, but this didn't leave them any better off. After another attempted launch, GoPro's drone division was shut down in 2018. It's estimated that the company invested $217 million into R&D and marketing for the Karma. All of this is bad on its own, but it shows us the larger issue with the GoPro, which unfortunately has plagued their core product, their cameras. Because of the Karma and all of their side quests, GoPro cut R&D from $358 million in 2016 to $153 million in 2019.
Whoa.
But this may not have been the best move, because it cemented GoPro as a follower rather than a leader. In 2017, Insta360 released their first product, a full 360-degree action camera at a 4K resolution. GoPro released their own, the GoPro Fusion, a few months later, and the comparisons were very close. The GoPro Fusion did have slightly better quality, but the Insta360 was $300 cheaper and better for social media, and that was just half the story. Insta360 kept improving and every version got better and better. GoPro, however, only ever made two 360-degree cameras as they watched their competitor take their market. GoPro had dominated in the beginning, but now their competitors were beating them.
I'm not the biggest fan of GoPro stuff. I want to be. I want to love it. I have like all of it because I think the potential is there for it to be great. I'm just always kind of let down with how my footage looks.
GoPro struggled to get the core of its business right, and soon the quality became inconsistent, not just with its cameras, but also with their support. I have tried to ask for help many times, but GoPro user support is terrible and refuses.
Yeah, that's the thing on the core business. When you have like a terrible like support, your reputation is literally just like slaying basically. And yeah, I don't like this kind of company that doesn't support like people, which is like pretty much like 80% of them. It depends like on the big companies, obviously. But I love what he said about like GoPro is now a follower rather than a leader, because I think they didn't explore like all the options that's been open for them like on the content creation market, because maybe it was a little bit too soon for them to open. I don't know. That might be one of the reasons. But like following the example of like Insta360 and the drone from DJI, I think it's like it was a bad move from them. They should have been more focused on the core of the product, as he just said on the video. Beautiful video, by the way. But yeah, I'm not sure if GoPro is gonna be sustainable in the next couple of years, unfortunately.
To help. Just now, while preparing for the summer holiday trip, I noticed that the Enduro battery bought a year ago is dead.
Oh, God.
So really, there's nothing but problems with GoPro cameras. On SiteJabber, GoPro has an appalling 1.5 stars with terrible customer reviews.
Yeah.
First dive after purchase has leaked and it now destroyed my camera. Customer service is only offering a discount on a new one if I purchase. What a joke. But possibly most of all, their market share was being stolen by smartphones. Phone cameras were evolving rapidly, and GoPro as a product didn't stand out in comparison. Their CEO, Nick Woodman, admitted this, saying, "We failed to make GoPro contemporary and failed to align GoPro to the smartphone movement." GoPro didn't adapt, but its competitors did. DJI integrated smartphones into their core ecosystem, but most importantly focused on adding value where phone cameras didn't. With all their aggressive investments and new expansions, you'd think GoPro was on the path to becoming the next Canon, but they weren't. The reality was that they sold a niche product, and the customers soon realized that it wasn't even the best option available. But all of this was quite a few years ago, so how is GoPro doing now? Were they able to recover?
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say about GoPro is I used to have a GoPro before, and man, it's terrible at night. It's horrible. Even if you want to go for a walk or a run or whatever, and you want to capture some moment with the GoPro style, it's absolutely terrible. And they know it because people have been complaining for about a decade on this feature, but they haven't changed it for some reason. So yeah, they're not listening. They're just, I don't know, but I'm not surprised that they're going down.
GoPro realized they needed to change. The question was, what? Well, they needed to improve two things, revenue and profit margins. GoPro started by overhauling its direct-to-consumer sales. Customers who bought directly from them would get a far cheaper price. Next, they launched their newest revenue stream, GoPro Plus. Don't worry, it's not a streaming service, but it is a subscription. The subscription provided unlimited cloud storage for GoPro footage and all kinds of other benefits for $99 per year. And customers who bought directly from GoPro received a free annual subscription. Direct sales gave them better profitability, more efficient supply chains, inventory management, and more control over promotions. To everyone's surprise, this was somewhat working. These changes were strategic and directly related to the core of their business. Against all odds, in 2021, they swung back to profitability, netting $371 million.
Whoa, okay.
Not only that, their financial statements show that they now had a cash balance of $539
Whoa,
million.
that's actually amazing. That's a nice rebound. Haven't seen this one coming. Okay.
A record for the company. 2022 was also profitable, but this is where the good news ends for GoPro. These changes were great, but they might have been too late. Despite all of GoPro's efforts and the 2 profitable years, 2023 was another terrible year, making a $53 million loss. But why? Simple answer, they had made $9 million less in revenue and their costs were much higher, from $367 million to almost $400 million. But here's where things get strange. Their camera sales were actually up by 6%, and their GoPro subscribers also grew by 12%. So what happened? Well, with more and more competitors, the industry is maturing, and when an industry matures, prices generally decline. Consumers have moved towards cheaper entry-level cameras as the average selling price, ASP, for action cameras has decreased from $378 down to $337. GoPro has been forced to battle with these competitors in these cheaper price points, which means their profits are suffering, from 37.2% in 2022 to 32.2% in 2023. These might seem like small numbers, but they have a massive impact across millions of products. So what about 2024? Are things looking up? Unfortunately not. Things are getting worse.
Oh boy.
Much worse. In the first quarter of 2024, they lost $44 million. In the second, they lost almost $48 million. That's already more than the entirety of 2023. So, what happened? Well, their expenses are still massive. The first half of 2024 saw expenses of $197 million, meaning they are similar to 2023, but with even less revenue. One reason for this is bloated salaries and marketing expenses, but the biggest culprit seems to be non-recurring technology investments. These are one-time expenses, likely related to the development of new products. The amount they're spending here is massive, and GoPro is aware of this. In their earnings call, GoPro stated they want to reduce these expenses by $50 million by 2025. At the same time, their revenue is also down, specifically down 23% from last year.
Wow.
Their retail revenue fell by 17%, and their direct-to-consumer revenue is alarmingly down by 35%.
Oh my days.
This is particularly painful for GoPro, since this channel is where their biggest profits are. Their only saving grace this year was GoPro Plus, which grew by 8%. And all of this is amidst a even further drop in ASP down to $323, a 6% drop from 2023. The bottom line is that GoPro is offering premium prices in an industry that is becoming commoditized, and GoPro is struggling to keep up. And to make things worse, their new products are having challenges. The GoPro Max 2, their first 360-degree camera since 2019, was planned to release late in 2024, but has been delayed to 2025 now. This was expected to bring in $20 to $25 million in revenue, which is now nowhere to be seen.
Wow.
Their customer experience appears to still be lacking, and now this affects their subscription service as well as their cameras. You can't call them directly. There is a phone number with a recording that directs you back to the website. Don't pay for a subscription. If you want to cancel it, you get no refund, which I had never heard of GoPro. GoPro's stock price is now at an all-time low of $1.30, and their market cap has fallen to $200 million.
Whoa.
For context, that's less than their CEO got paid in 1 year after their IPO, $284.5 million.
That's the thing, like, look at that. You just did like a raising fund and you take half of the money instead of like developing your vision. Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense to do this. you're a CEO, you need to act like one. Like, okay, there was a up and downs, but it's not sustainable because of this bad move. Like, you need the structure from the beginning. You can't just do that. Oh my god, this is pissing me off because there is so much potential in this company. And I remember when it came out, like, you want to buy a GoPro because of the experience. You know that there is action. You can say, if you remember Gymkhana with Ken Block, you can see all the GoPros everywhere. You can see the sponsors, and back in the day it was like this, and it was a brand. Now it's like, it's been outperformed by DJI. It's the same thing with Apple now. They're getting outperformed because they're not innovating anymore. They're not like on top of the game, unfortunately. Well, we'll see. At least that's my opinion, of course.
Do I like it? You guys know my opinion on GoPro. It's never really been the greatest. I respect what they do.
It was
and they
like
make cool
2 years ago.
cameras,
Come
but
on.
I've never liked any of them. I want to like them. I want them to be everything I need them to be. When I see one of those promos and I think, oh,
Yeah.
I need that in my life, and then I get it in my life, and this just doesn't look like the footage on the promo. I feel like that's universally known.
GoPro's first and the biggest problem was their IPO. They grew too big, too fast, and should have remained niche, focused and high quality. GoPro
I
solved
agree
the
with
problem
that.
incredibly well, but it was a niche problem, and while trying to do more, they spread themselves too thin and forgot their core. They couldn't keep their costs down, and worse, it took them too long to realize this. In the meantime, competitors learned from GoPro's mistakes. GoPro could have stayed the industry standard, but now they're an afterthought. Their costs are far too high, and their products aren't keeping up with the competition. GoPro might be a massive, well-known brand, but unfortunately for them, this hasn't translated to sustained financial success. If you're interested in deeper dives, interviews with insiders, and exclusive tech analysis, you can sign up to our free weekly newsletter. Link is below.
Yeah, I think unfortunately, GoPro is like declining more and more, and I think in a couple of years they're gonna be bankrupt. At least I'm not wishing it for them, but it might be the case because DJI, well, as he just said, like, everybody understood what to do and what not to do. Thanks GoPro for that, and I think that's a nice move from the competitors because they want to make business as well, and they're listening to their consumers, a thing that GoPro doesn't do. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, you guys. In this case, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you think about the fall of GoPro, and when do you think they're gonna be bankrupt or not. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.